So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the very first session of Speaker's Corner in Calgary. And as you well know, this is a fresh air experience, offering Calgarians an opportunity to address topical issues, exchange ideas, and enjoy the stimulation of fresh perspectives. Speaker's Corner is a time-honored tradition practiced in many democracies around the world, most notably at Hyde Park in London, England. We are indeed blessed to live in a free and democratic country where freedom of expression is taken for granted. At Speaker's Corner, you will have the right to participate in civic life by speaking to issues and topics about which you may feel passionate. Needless to say, you have the right just to listen and enjoy the quality of the presentations and evaluate and assess their ideas. At Speaker's Corner, you will be confronted with points of view diametrically opposed to your own, and you will be offered the opportunity to challenge opposing points of view, as well as your own notions about what's true, what's real, what's valuable. It is well to keep an open mind, because we know that the heresy of today is the orthodoxy of tomorrow, and the orthodoxy of today is the heresy of tomorrow. For example, Galileo was excommunicated by the Catholic Church because he dared to propose that it is in fact the earth that circles the sun and not the other way around. The notion that women should have the right to own property and to vote that they should not have the right to vote was the prevailing ethos until relatively recently in broad historical terms. So we should really keep an open mind. Now in a normal, today's format is going to be very different from the way it's going to roll out in the future, just because it's timely to acknowledge the first responders to the great crisis created by the flood, and also because we had difficulty securing the first speakers. We were going to lead today with a pipeline debate. Should the pipelines be allowed to go? Should they be abandoned? And we've been fortunate enough to attract Danielle Smith, the leader of the Wild Rose Party, to speak in favor of the pipelines, and Janet Keeping, leader of the Alberta Green Party, to speak against, unfortunately, because of the flood and the fact that Danielle Smith was just totally deluged, no pun intended, with responsibility in her own writing. She could not make it until September the 15th, which is when it's going to go down. But it is our intention to have really topical issues on a weekly basis, such as, for example, does the ouster of Mohamed Morsi in Egypt advance or hinder the cause of democracy? For example, another topic, well, there's just so many. Edward Snowden, is he a champion of democracy or a traitor to be subjected to the most severe punishment at law? Abortion issues. I think most people thought that there was a broad societal consensus on where that should settle out. Well, the broad societal consensus is under challenge. There's another topic, and there's no shortage of topics, and that's going to be the character of Speaker's Corner on an ongoing basis. Every time we will hope to have someone speaking in favor of a proposition, someone opposed, and thereafter it'll be open mic. People will have the opportunity to come up, put questions, make their own commentary, and hopefully people will be stimulated, enlivened. Debate is okay, criticism is okay, as long as it's conducted in a decorous and civilized manner. In any event, before droning on much longer, I do want to say that today's event was the inspiration of a lady who stepped out from the shadows and who single-handedly organized the event. Her name is Nina Polson, and I would like to call her to the podium to address the first responders. Again, there will be an opportunity for questions and comments, and thereafter, because this is a first session and it's kind of experimental, there's a gentleman who will also want to speak to a matter that's close to his heart. I saw him here minutes ago. I hope he didn't run away. If he hasn't, he'll be called to the mic. Washroom break. Understood. Without any further ado, please welcome Nina Polson. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Speaker's Corner. As Gabor stated earlier, Speaker's Corner is a meeting place where every Sunday afternoon between 1 and 4, like-minded people such as you and me can come to voice your opinion. Today, opening day, we are here to celebrate. On June 20th, 2013, the lives of many Southern Albertans, many Calgarians, changed forever. It was a catastrophic event. It was a flood that crippled our city and the neighboring townships, a flood that destroyed the town of High River. We would like to spend today saying thank you to everyone, but firstly, we would like to say our condolences go out to the families that lost loved ones due to this flood. To start, we would like to thank Mayor Nenshi, a man who took off his socks, put on his wetsuit, and rode the raging water until the rain came to rest, just as a cowboy rides the bucking horse or Brahma bull in our famous Calgary Stampede. You made us proud handling the situation as you did. You saved lives that day. Thank you. Many of us, including myself, at some time in our lives have suffered a misfortune of one kind or another, yet not one of us were prepared for the misfortune that the flood would leave behind. It has left an empty spot in many people's lives. It has taken their homes, their belongings, and much more. Many natural disasters leave behind devastating effects. It was a miracle that more lives weren't lost during the flood, but the miracle did not just come from above. It came from our police services, from our firefighters, and our Alberta Health Services EMS responders. And I'd like to take the time to thank a few of the police and EMS responders for being here today. Today, we would like to thank each and every one of those first responders. The first responders who on the days of flooding worked day and night to ensure the safety of our city, the people who live here and its neighboring townships. We would like to thank the Calgary Police Service for doing everything possible in keeping our city safe at that time, for ensuring each and every person was safely evacuated before the harrowing rush of water came barreling into our city to whisk people away, and for ensuring that people made it out of their homes after the flood had swallowed half of our city. You put your life second by putting everyone else's life first. The service you performed then and every day before and after the flood was instrumental in saving lives. We thank you. Thank you to the firefighters, whom we all know for certain fight more than fires. You tend to motor vehicle accidents and people who suffer heart attacks and strokes. You even tend to saving someone's kitten that happens to be stuck in a tree. I myself know the life of a firefighter, with my son spending a few years volunteer firefighting in Drayton Valley. Your heart really has to be in the right place to do the job that a firefighter, policeman, or EMS do. We would like to thank Emergency Medical Services, EMS, for standing by on the days and the nights flooding occurred to ensure everyone needing medical attention was attended to quickly and safely. We commend each and every one of our first responders for remaining solid, and thank you all for staying strong. No doubt all of you involved felt a certain amount of fear and anxiety, but you kept your cool, all the while dealing with something that was no doubt completely foreign to you. We would like to say a very big thank you as well to all of the volunteers that arrived in droves, giving of your time day after day. You played a crucial part in helping flood victims mend broken hearts and broken homes. The difficulties the flood victims faced were definitely lessened by the warmth and love shown by you, the volunteers. We would also like to say a thank you to everyone else that played a significant part in this flood. The flood of 2013 will be remembered for a very long time, and even though we have grieved, become frustrated, even angry, we have prevailed. We will be stronger for it, forging forward and rebuilding better and wiser. And last but not forgotten, thank you to all of you wonderful people who took the time out of your day to come down for the opening of Speaker's Corner. I would again like to thank our police and EMS for being here today. I conclude by inviting anyone from the crowd to take the stage to voice your comments. And I also offer honorees the opportunity to come up and say a word of acknowledgement for the recognition bestowed upon you, and should you choose to share one or more of your memorable recollections about the flooding experience. In ending, please everyone, if you can, make a donation to help flood relief. And enjoy yourself. We look forward to seeing you here again and again. Again, I thank you very much for being here, and I thank you, gentlemen, very much for being here today.